even though I was going through all that I was going through, but there was always this hope. And everything that happened in my life was a way to get me right where I am today. The fact that I didn't go to medical school, I became the best doggone nurse. Then I became a nurse
Listen.
practitioner, then a doctor of nursing practice. I was able to build my foundation. People can focus on the negativity. Those things happened to me. Yes, they did. I was a child. I was taken advantage of. I was abused. I was molested. What? Everything. Okay. And that's
Mm.
real. The best thing that they could have taught you, Kim, in nursing school was holistic nursing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I take that holistic nursing, just looking at the whole person and just looking at all aspects, putting that person is in the center of the care that you provide. So I put myself in the center of everything. Okay. And I don't focus on what is the matter with me. I focus on what matters to me. Yes. Joanne Louis, this person that some people look at. I heard somebody talking about me the other day, and I was like, okay, okay, Joe, you came a long way. And
Yes, you
so
have.
I want you to know you can come a long way. You can't just stay in your pain and just keep focusing on this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. Okay, well, find a way out.
You're listening to We All Go Forward, a podcast on self-leadership through setbacks. With ownership, action, and growth, be set back, only to be catapulted forward into a more progressed, truer you.
Hey, y'all. Hey, and welcome back to this podcast. We are back with part 2, okay? Not part 1, part 2 of the Unplanned Plan with Dr. Johanne Louis. And honestly, y'all, you heard that quick snippet. That is just a snippet. If you did not catch part 1, run, do not walk to episode 13 and tune in there first. But we are here with this episode. And as you heard in that clip, she shared that she does not focus on what has happened to her. She focuses on what matters to her. And she shares in that episode all the beautiful things that matter to her, like family and her work and her foundation and friendship, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? That is what we tackle. We get her mindset, her perspective on all those areas in this next part. So it was just really, I could not have set it up perfectly than that. So if you're, again, wondering, what is this part 2 about? What am I going to gain from it? Listen, Dr. Joe is going to bless us with some career advice. She shares her own personal acronym, R.A.C.E, on how to pivot and be adaptable in changing in hard situations and setbacks. She gives her philosophy on love and marriage. It's her philosophy, okay? And we love it. She talks about boundaries. She talks about friendship, parenting. Most of all, she speaks about service and outreach, whether it's through JLF, which if you're looking for an organization to just get your feet wet in service, I can attest I was a part. I still am a part to a degree, always JLF, as she says. But she just shares all the ways that we can just show up. Honestly, guys, there is so much wisdom here. If you're looking for those of us who want mentorship, that's what We All Go Forward is all about. This is a mentorship session. So that's enough of the intro. I can't say no more. Tune in. My God.
My
But
God.
here we go. So we're going to just pivot quickly into different aspects of your life, because like I said, I know people can get some things away from that. So career, we talked about how you've done all the things: bedside nurse, APN, advanced practice nurse. I'll say the words for people who are not nurses: nurse practitioner, clinical professor. You've worked at some of the biggest name hospitals in Philadelphia, or companies as well too, between HUP, Penn, even GlaxoSmithKline. So you have done all the things within, just by pivoting and being, like you said, adaptable, and realizing that this career choice that I wanted originally may not be practical for me, but this is, and I can still have a great life. So I'll ask for some people who might be listening, who are kind of maybe in nursing or considering nursing. Is nursing still a great career choice?
It's the best. It is absolutely the best. It is I'm serious, just having, and I'm not trying to be corny,
Nope.
but you can do whatever you want in nursing. Okay.
Right.
As a nurse, you can work in IT. Okay. You can work in home care. You can work in legal. You can work anything that you want to do, you can do as a nurse. Okay. You can be a professor of nursing. You can, whatever. I was a lecturer. I was an assistant professor. I was a course coordinator. You don't even have to be at the bedside to be a nurse. So I would encourage anyone who ever wants to be a nurse. That's one of the greatest profession. And caring for the patients is the most rewarding thing. And now getting a chance to care for our nation's veterans is just the greatest honor of my life. And I'm not trying to be corny. I am so for real. And I'm glad that my daughter, my baby, is following in my footsteps.
I love it. What benefits did you see? If somebody's like, okay, I have my bachelor's, what benefits did you see from getting your master's to getting your doctorate?
Okay. So there's a great benefit from uh, the bachelor's to becoming a nurse practitioner, because you're basically changing the trajectory of it all. Because as a nurse practitioner, you're really delving into the medical domain, and you're not really practicing under the nursing domain as much anymore. Although you're providing more individualized care to the patients, there's benefits in that, but you're really in the medical domain when you're a nurse practitioner. As far as the doctorate, at some point it's going to be the ultimate degree. Like, it's probably going to be required,
Yep.
that any nurse
Already.
practitioners, will need their doctorate degree. And it was supposed to happen. I think they scared me and I hurried up and got it, because it was supposed to happen back in 2015. I
And you're
think
like,
that's
now
when
I'm
they said,
safe. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I hurried and I got it. And at the time, because I got it at Drexel, it was actually the DRNP, now it's the DNP. So it's a DNP now. But I basically got my doctorate because of the foundation, because going to Haiti, there's a respect that comes. They don't know what a nurse practitioner is really. And so there's more of a respect with titles in Haiti for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so it provided me a different level of respect, if I can say that.
Wow, that's honest, and that actually makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. We can't assume that everybody everywhere knows what a nurse practitioner is. So
right.
that part actually makes sense from that aspect. Okay, so then I have a strong question here. Every day, though, you work with people who did something that you originally planned to do in terms of medical doctors, and it wasn't because you didn't do it, as we just heard, not because you weren't smart enough, not because etc., but simply because of life. And it ended up still being a beautiful decision to you. Do you ever deal with comparison?
Actually, no. This will sound really weird, because I
No,
train a
it's
lot
not.
of the I train a lot of the medical doctors.
Girl, don't we know it? Yeah.
No, we know it. No, we
It
know
don't
it. No, we
sound
know
weird to me at all.
it.
Yes, it doesn't sound weird to me
You know,
at all. Yeah.
so there's never a comparison, but I see, there's more questions now. Like some who have taken the route to become medical doctors want to know more about what made me decide to become a nurse practitioner. But you're doing the same thing. So what made you decide to do this? And sometimes I laugh with them and I'm like, because I didn't want to be $260,000 in debt, or,
Right.
just say things like that.
Yeah.
But, it's a collaborative thing. I'm so grateful for the way that nurse practitioners in most states now have independent practice, and at the VA where I work, we're licensed independent providers. So a lot of states, you don't need a collaborative physician to work anymore. So the practice itself is expanding. You can prescribe, you can diagnose, you can order tests, you do the same thing, and it's less debt for school. But I do understand that there is this still, of course, the difference between the degrees, and some people just want
Absolutely.
to that medical doctor degree. And there's even some rift between medical doctors and DOs,
Yeah.
doctors of osteopathic
Yep.
medicine. So we'll see how that goes. But hey, there's less people going into medicine nowadays, and
Yeah.
I think it's because they're seeing that there's a different way.
I think thank you for answering that question, because I recently had this a conversation with Matt, with my oldest, and I was telling him about how comparison doesn't make sense. What you do or where you're gifted has nothing to do if you're not feeding that. then then you won't be the best at what you're supposed to be the best at.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you speak about, like, me just bringing up that question just to get your outlook on something that you wanted to do, and this is something that you had to do, but it ended up being so amazing for you.
Yes.
And arguably might say this is what you were supposed to do.
Supposed to do.
Exactly. So it's just a really great way to look at the fact that you said collaborative process, that you really don't have to compare, not just in nursing and medicine, but in life, whatever it is. Don't compare. Instead, understand it's a collaborative process. I love that.
Absolutely.
That was so good. Okay, so I was thinking, in all that, in all your life story, I have to ask you then, do you have when you're pivoting, when you're being so adaptable, being flexible, what is your process? Well, first I was going to ask, do you have a process? But you do. You may not. I don't know if you pay attention to it, like where maybe you could add this into your book. Listen, you could give me a credit. No, I'm kidding. What's your process to pivoting? If somebody needs to pivot right now and they're saying, I'm going through teen pregnancy, or somebody's listening and said, I just was betrayed in a hurtful way, I'm getting divorced, or I have to choose a different career, what would you tell them is your process or a process to pivot?
Well, Kim, I don't know if it's because I do a lot of teaching, and I speak to my students a lot about this, because a lot of them come into the profession, they're unsure, or they're going through life and they just need someone to talk to. And for me, I have to come back to that word adaptability again, okay? Because I have to adapt to any changes that occur in my lifetime. Okay. So I would say the first thing, you have to be able to adapt to any circumstance. So, that acronym that they use for the fire extinguishers, RACE.
Yes.
So you first have to recognize whatever's going on, right? Because sometimes something's happening and you don't even know what's going on in your life. So first you need to put your glasses on and say, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Am I able to continue my path? Recognize that you do need to make a change, and admit to the fact that I can't continue going the way that I'm going. I really have to make a left or a right. I can't really go straight the way that I really wanted to go, and correct the path, So just because you were supposed to go straight and you had to make a left, that doesn't mean that it's the wrong direction. It just means that you're just going a different way. It doesn't make the straight ahead any better, and you have to be able to express gratitude for wherever you are in life. And I think that if you can just show some flexibility, build up your confidence, just always be diligent in whatever that you're doing, and be determined, I think that you will be able to adapt more to the changes. Because life for me, and I've never had a planned life. So everything in my life has always been unplanned, starting from children, marriages, house, whatever. It's never like been planned. So the way that it comes, I can make plans, of course, but it never happens the way that, in my mind that it's supposed to happen. Yeah. So I've always had to adapt. And the only thing I can tell people is just because you have to make a left or right or diverge from whatever you had it in your head that you needed to do, that doesn't mean that that's not where you're supposed to end up. Okay. Wow. So wherever that you have to do, as long as you put your 2 feet in and you are focused and you're flexible and you have to do your research and understand the process. Just because you're pregnant at an early age, that doesn't mean that your life is over. You just got to work a little bit harder, to make things happen for you and your child. Actually, that may be a great motivating factor for you to pull up your pants and say, hey, be responsible and do it right. And I just praise God that I don't know why he created me the way. There's certain things that I had to go through to make me the person that I am today. And right now, wait till you hit 50, Kim. Wait till you hit 50. I'm 56 now. Oh my gosh, listen, wait till you right now, like I remember my 40s, I remember my 30s. Once you hit 50, there's a shift. Something happens inside of you.
Wow.
Maya Angelou was absolutely correct in everything
Yeah.
that she said. I am in such a place right now where everything that I went through in my life, I can examine, I can look at, I can say, oh, thank you, God.
Ooh,
Thank you for allowing me to go this way and that way and that way just to get to right here, because this
yeah.
is where I'm supposed to be. This is the route that I was supposed to be on. And I was trying to make my own way, but you got me back on track. Thank you so much. And I praise him every day. Oh, Lord.
Oh gosh. So when I say I'm literally like sucking the tears back into my eyes because you get this is the second time you done got me.
Oh, sorry.
But no, don't be sorry. It's oh, like just so many transformative things, but just you taking that, just a recap for people, like that R.A.C.E acronym that typically people use for fires, and how appropriate, because literally sometimes, not to be cheesy, like you said, like this it feels like a fire, like your life is
Yes.
literally sometimes on fire, like things are
Yes.
burning down around you. And so you took those letters and you changed it to recognize, admit,
Hmm.
correct, and express gratitude.
Hmm.
And what I heard the most in the express gratitude is that you were saying like how that helps you kind of like adapt better. And I think that's so spot on, because there I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of pain when you hit a certain roadblock, or you have to let go of certain dreams or plans. And like you said, you think we're doing the best with the information that we have.
Hmm.
But that's painful to recognize this might not be working.
It might not.
Or I might have to take a different route.
And
And
what's wrong
the
with that, Kim?
gratitude and is exact
What
what
is
is
wrong with
wrong
that?
with that? We don't, this is the part that I definitely I share this with you for sure, but I literally I need a tape recorder walking around with me saying, "What is wrong with
What
that,
is
Kim?
wrong with
Like,
that?
what is wrong with it? Like, there's nothing. Like, we all need to just say, what is wrong with that? Like, look in the mirror and express gratitude, because I think the gratitude, would you agree, like becomes like a balm. This is what
Yes.
soothes the pain when you can look at all the things that are being set back, all the things that are going wrong, and say, but here's something beautiful. Here's literally beauty for ashes. Here's literally a rose on that thorn. Like next to that thorn, here's all the good things. It begins to soothe the pain, possibly in ways that we probably don't never thought it would.
And I don't know if I've been anesthetized. I don't know if, because, different people experience pain at different stages in their lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So, I think because I experienced so much pain early on, like things come my way where that would make people crumble, and I'm just like, eh. It's like,
Listen,
what?
you like when they and the nursing jokes, because there's been a lot of this going on. You know how it's not funny, but people who have their body, they put their body through a lot, whether like drugs,
Yeah.
alcohol, they can, I mean,
Oh my
bounce
God.
back. And I'm like, we
Bounce
were just, it
back.
must be the stress environment that their body used to. And I'm like, if that was me,
Seriously.
I
I
would probably
would be,
get
yeah,
that.
just
But for
you,
you,
you
you're
watch
saying
them.
you have gone through so much that you're like, your body's like, eh.
Eh. And that's exactly what it is. And I don't know if it's healthy, I don't know if it's not healthy, but I am like ready for everything. I
Wow.
do not expect anything. So
Mm,
I don't know how to really say that the way that I feel it, because I feel so strongly about it. Like right now in my life right now, the place that I am in my life right now with the man that I have right now and everything that he means to me right now. Like if something were to happen and he were to walk away from me, I would still be standing. Do you
yeah.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think if I hadn't gone through all of that I did before, I would have just crumbled into place. So God allows certain things in your life
Yeah.
just to make you just a little bit stronger. And
Yeah.
every day, Kim, you see that gratitude thing? I promise you, if you get up every day and you look around, put yourself just in the center, act like you're just in the center
Mm-hmm.
and look at all the arrows pointing from you. And you see those two beautiful children,
Yeah.
and you see your mom, and you see your husband, and you see your household, and you see your finances, even if your bank account is negative, which I know that is not because Mr. Rico got you. But whatever that you're looking at, if you just say thank you,
Yeah.
like thank you on a daily basis, it will all make sense. Because you may want something and you're so disappointed that you don't have it or you haven't achieved it or whatever that it is,
Yeah.
and you don't take the time to look at what you actually have and you can't relish in it. Maybe what you have right now, if you grow upon it, that will be the thing that can catapult you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So you just got to look at everything that you have and just build on it, like
Yeah.
excel in whatever that it. Look at you in this podcast, beautiful. Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Like this is
I'm trying.
amazing. Well, listen, and it won't be easy,
No.
and guess what? You may get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do this. And that's
And
okay.
that's okay.
And
Yes.
that's
And
okay.
what's wrong with that,
And what's
Kim?
wrong with
See?
that?
That's
What's
we're gonna
wrong
get
with
that on
that?
the t-shirt, Dr. Joe. And what's
Exactly.
wrong
We're
with
gonna do
that?
that. And what's wrong with that? You go to the next
Listen,
thing.
I love it. I was thinking about too how people say probably like maybe robots or computer software, even video games, that as you fail different trials, how sometimes the things get smarter, right? So
Yeah.
now you can dodge certain things as a
Mhm.
result of solely just because you're failing. So, and it doesn't mean you're not going to feel sad about it in the moment, because we all
Oh,
see these
sure.
memes where you're like, when they say, God, you said that no weapon shall prosper, but the weapons are prospering. I feel like they're prospering.
Listen, I don't know who
Yes.
put that in the Bible.
Yeah.
But these weapons come. Okay.
They
They
feel like they're
prosper.
prospering.
They
Yes.
prosper.
But we don't sometimes we not sometimes we don't see in the moment. We have limited view to see that it's now we got muscle memory. We're learning where our body, our mind is adapting and realizing like you can bounce back up, or that's going to hurt less, or that no is not everything, that doesn't define you, and as a result you gain this beautiful life. So you're just therapeutically, like I said, this is just for me. People might listen. They gonna listen to the podcast and be out, but really this is all for me. So I got a couple more questions. You talked about you are so funny. I know Brother Joel is just listening and laughing because
He's
I know he
not
just
even
loves
up
your
here.
personality. Yes. How many times, this is just me asking because I like you, you're real. The people got to know. How many times have you fallen in love and or been married?
Oh my goodness, Kim. Now you're gonna get me counting. Let me pull out some toes. No, I'm kidding. No. And when you say
Because
like
she said she got her tall glass of water. Okay,
I
she
got
done
my
landed.
tall glass of water right
But
now.
before that, she had to say thank
Before
you
that,
next.
I had
Just
I had a
thank you next.
few. I
Okay.
had a few. I had a
Okay.
few. I won't put a number, but I
No,
had
you
a
don't have to put a number.
few. And I love,
Yes.
okay? And I'm committed to love.
Yes.
I
Okay.
truly am. I'm truly committed to love. So if I love you, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you show me who you are,
Mm-hmm.
trust me, I believe you. And I
Mm.
am out. I truly believe that marriage, seriously, I truly believe marriage is like it's a contract. Okay. And I know what they teach us in the Bible, and I know what Christianity teaches us, and I know all that. And but I'm sorry, there are certain things I subscribe to, there are certain things I don't. Marriage to me is a contract, and you play your role, I
And
play
I
my
play mine.
role. And once you stop playing your role, then we are null and void. Okay. I will try and try. Okay. But I am not allowing myself to be back in that place where I allow anyone to manipulate me, to make me feel,
Come on.
less than what I am, to make me do things that I don't want to do. Okay. To take advantage of me.
Love it.
Those days are
They're
over.
gone.
They are gone.
Dr. Joe, do
So
you know Justin Timberlake? Because I'm not going to let you show your
yeah, I
age.
do know
So,
Justin Timberlake. Don't
and
even
he
try.
said, the old me is dead and gone. Dead and
Yes.
gone.
Dead and gone.
She
Dead and
said that
gone.
that
Okay.
relationship is dead and gone.
That
Okay.
ain't
Bye.
gone, honey. Okay. Goodbye. I'm so sorry.
I ask you these things because I always like, so people, I think sometimes when I describe you, not that I share things like everything that you tell me, but I always tell people Dr. Joanne is very down to earth. Like, and I think most people
Oh,
people
yes.
who know, but sometimes when I think I describe or say, oh, Dr. Joanne told me this, I have one friend in particular say, she said that. And I'm like, girl, you just need to have one conversation with her.
That's
and
it.
everything you think about her, or what you think might be her philosophy may not be. So
after this, they're really gonna know, Kim, because
just love you more.
Listen,
I think it's
what
healthy
it
to hear other people's takes. And so that the reason why I asked you that was not to have people up in your business, but because I was going to ask after that, what's your philosophy on love and marriage? And you just gave it. And I love that. And I think, like you said, you listen, if she said it's a contract, that's her philosophy now. Listen,
that's her philosophy.
That's her philosophy.
You
okay?
may not want to subscribe to it, and that's on you.
And what's wrong with that? Like we said,
what's wrong with that? And it's like next, and that's where we are.
Okay. So when we take all of this, right, and I look at how you are, you, like you said, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a practitioner, you are the CEO of this organization, and you are a friend. I don't know how she does it all. Looking at your life now, do you see remnants, whether in a good or a bad way, of how you manage all those aspects of your life, like marriage, parenting, nursing, being a CEO? Do you see remnants of all that you've gone through and how that guides you and how you lead all those things? Does that question make sense? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I would be a liar if I said that I didn't. I am open but guarded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
There are certain boundaries that you just can't cross. If I feel that I'm in a position and it makes me feel uncomfortable, I step down. Okay. I do not stay and just allow certain things to happen to me, and so there's certain things that you learn along the way. And as an adult now, I have taken charge of my life. I make sure that I don't put myself in any position where I am at someone's mercy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't know if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Where I stand on my own 2 feet. Like I'm financially sound on my own. I make sure that my children I can take care of. I make sure that I leave them something to say, okay, I have made a contribution, not just love. Okay, because Haitian parents like, oh, well, I give you love.
I love you.
That's good.
I love you, baby.
That's good. But
here's the debt.
Here's the debt. I do tell my kids that they have to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and do well, but I will help you. I will give you a start. I will, I think that helping children in real estate is a way to help build a legacy. And so what I have is for them. Okay. And I make sure that I'm responsible. I am not a flashy person. I don't believe in name brand, this, name brand, that. If you see me, I have a few Coach bags, and that's because they were gifted to me. Okay. Even like my car, it's a nice car, but I didn't buy it because of the brand. I bought it because it's a stable car that I can have for a long time. Yeah. I am not frivolous. I know the responsibility. And just being a teenage mother and working my whole life, because I've been working since I was 14 without a break. And so I know what comes with that, being able to help my children, make sure that we are okay, financially. Yeah. And I am just there for my family is it, but I protect them. Mm-hmm. I don't let anyone come for mine. Okay. If you come in for mine, you coming for me?
Right.
And then that's it.
And that's so that.
I don't put myself in any position right now where anyone can ever find a means to disrespect me. If I feel like I'm being disrespected, I step away. I'm the kindest person. I'm not confrontational. Still, I'm not confrontational. I will just step away. You'll be looking for me and I'll be gone.
My God, my goodness.
I'll be gone.
You be looking for her.
I've been looking for me. I'll be gone.
See the dust, like the road runner. Okay, she's gone. She's a flash.
And even in friendship, Kim.
So even in friendship. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. So yeah, I love everything you said, because I was going to ask you, how they say sometimes in order to say yes to things, you have to say no to things. Mm-hmm. And what I heard you say is that what you say no to is flat out, like anywhere where I feel disrespected, anywhere where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel wanted, you don't stay. And you take charge. And I think the control aspect is so big because this is how I think we can own both the good things as well as our mistakes.
Yeah.
And be graceful with ourselves to say, okay, that was my mistake. That was a decision I made because I'm in control. And so as a result, you can bear it, you can live with it, you can give yourself that pat on the back and say, onward, let's continue because of that being in control. I wanted to ask you about your advice, because this is all about your advice in friendship. I said there's not a place, okay, that if Dr. Joanne is invited, it's not a place that I don't see you show up at, and you show up on time with bells and whistles on before time with gifts. I mean, the lady she be everywhere and she does everything. She'll support anybody's doing something. If they ask her, she's there. She's supportive. You do it with excellence.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah. How do you, maybe you could just answer all this in one. How do you make time? How do you execute all this? Like, especially when it comes to friendship, and what is your philosophy on friendship?
So friendship is something that I think people use the term so loosely. Okay. And not everyone is my friend. Just because I show up for you, that doesn't mean that
wisdom.
That's my friend. I have associates. I have different levels of people within my circle. I have people who show up for me and I show up for them. I have people that, I show up so many times for, and then when I see that they don't show up, so I sort of step back a bit. So friendship to me is a very mutual thing, a very mutual relationship of support. So I can't count 5 people on my hand that I can say are my best friends. I have a lot of people that I respect, that I love, but I don't know if the term friend is something that I can use to describe that type of a relationship. So I have, and people can see that I have a lot of people in my life, different categories. Okay, I love everyone. Like I said, I love, but can I be vulnerable to all those people? Well, heck no. Heck no. I'm not going to be vulnerable to just everybody,
I love it. So well answered. Because even when not to circle back to that, but even when you spoke about, the abuse and the molestation, and you spoke about, like, you're supposed to love the pastor, and sometimes we, like you said, we use these terms and sometimes we don't know what they mean. And I think what you have expressed is such wisdom, and it's actually very biblical as well too, that God teaches us there's different words for love, but in our language, in American, I'll say American, we only use one word, right? Just like we use one word for friendship, and we like to think that if we say somebody is a friend, or we use that word too loosely, but if we say love, we're just thinking that everybody gets access, everybody gets this, everybody gets that. And that's not the case. That when if we're looking about that golden rule, right, to love your neighbor and treat people how you want to be treated, that love just means benevolence. It means goodwill, good intent towards everyone, for as far as I can control. That's where the integrity aspect comes in, where I'm not going to treat you in a way that's beneath me. Right. And I'm going to wish well for you. However, I'm not going to give you the same love that I give to my husband. I'm not going to give you the same love that I give to my friends. And I have to understand what a friend is. I'm not going to give you the same love that I give to family, or sometimes family doesn't always meet that, or people that true friends who are like family, more than family. And so you start to realize that type of love gets access, right? They get my vulnerability. They get so much parts of me that you don't have to get. And so even when even for people who don't believe in God, we do the same, mess, or a Haitian word for you, diga. But the people who are believers, like, we like to say, well, God didn't tell you to go and expose yourself to someone who's literally holding a knife ready to stab you in the back.
And people do that all the time, Kim. I just don't understand it, now, maybe if you lack some wisdom as a kid, but once you're an adult, like you have to be able to categorize people. Are these your acquaintances? Are these your people that you associate with?
Come on.
Are these just people you have a strong interpersonal bond with? So there's different categories, and you may have some people at work that are great people. Hi,
Yeah.
you may have lunch, have a chat, but are
But
you gonna tell them something about Rico?
right.
No. You
Right.
know, so there's different levels, and people just have to really know their limitations when it comes to that. And with age comes wisdom, and I see like right now, one of my kids, she's just so beautiful and loving, and she just gives it all to everybody, just and she's as honest as I am, just always telling. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can see, but she's gonna be all right because I
Oh,
said with age, she's gonna be okay.
yeah.
If she doesn't get destroyed in the process,
Mm.
she's gonna be okay. And so I'm here to make sure that she doesn't get destroyed because she gives everybody her heart. She gives everybody just everything. She will give you her last dime, that sort of thing. And that was me. But I'm gonna make sure she's gonna be okay.
Dr. Joe. No, I'm trying to tell you, my hands are on my head. I always talk about the Macaulay Culkin moment. I had about 10 of them, but you said something so serious like that. She's one, I like how you can just say, well, she's doing this, she'll learn with age.
Mhm.
One, some of us, we have to give our kids room to make error. And
Yeah.
this is where I try to, like, literally, because me, I'll be like, no, like, I'll be trying to stop
Mm.
myself from, and giving them room to make mistakes. But
Yeah.
you also said, yeah, if it doesn't destroy her, but you said, but I'm here, because
Yeah.
so powerful. Because the thing is, that's why we can't just count, like, just treat these, when you're giving all your pearls away, all those, you can't just treat that as something light, because it can very well destroy you. And that's sometimes
Yeah.
where we look back and see, like, how did I get here, right? Which we talk
Right.
about a lot on this podcast. But here's the power of having somebody who has experienced things, somebody who has lived and learned, somebody who has gone through the fire, right? Someone who's
Mhm.
learned to pivot like you have, someone who has made it their life mission to serve, to be a mentor, to protect people, women, children,
Mhm.
anybody, that now you're standing in the gap for her the way your sister had. And it might not come with all the guns blazing like your older sister might have done,
Oh, it will
but
come
in
with
your
all the guns
own
blazing,
way.
honey. When it comes
Yes.
to my kids, though, it comes with
Oh,
guns
I know
blazing.
that's right. Yeah, okay. Yes, exactly. But however, she said, I'm multifaceted. Sometimes it's going to be the guns for my children.
Yes.
Sometimes it might not. But however it is, you said, but I'll be the one to protect her from.
I'm right here. I'm right. And
Oh,
they know that.
I love it.
And I make sure that they know that. Don't you ever feel the way that I ever felt in my whole entire life. Okay. I don't ever want them to ever feel what I went through because that's what I'm here for. Like and I went through it so that they don't have to ever go through it.
Yes.
And I'm
And
and
that's,
I've been very vigilant, just making sure. Listen, that whole thing where Haitians, you go and you have to kiss everyone, blah blah blah. You
yeah.
don't have to kiss anybody.
Oh,
You don't have, you are respectful. Hello. You say hello. You don't have to come in there and kiss the whole world. And if Uncle Bob tells you to sit on their lap, you don't have to sit on
no,
their lap. I
no.
was very clear as they
Yes.
don't ever feel like you have to do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. And if you feel uncomfortable, you tell mommy. Okay.
Wow.
You tell mommy you don't ever have to go there anymore, honey. Okay. You never have to do anything that makes you feel that way. And that's it. And that's the learning um that happens, with just going through the fire, going through the experience, the age, just certain things that you go through prepares you for a moment such as this.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm so proud of all of them. They know I'm not perfect, but they also know I'm right here. And as long
Come
as
on
God
now.
gives me breath, I'm going to be right here. I don't care what mistakes you make. You always come to me. Listen, I am, and I'm not and they know I'm going to be talking stern, but at the end of the day, they know they can tell me anything
Oh,
and no judgment zone. Okay.
See,
We're gonna have
you giving me, I don't know if you saw the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay, but when he
Uh-uh.
said, they know I'm gonna be there, I know I'm gonna be there. Like he said, listen, my kids, they know I'm gonna be there.
They
I
know.
know, I love it, Dr. Joe. So this brings us very full circle to not, I won't say the best because everything that you spoke about was just amazing. I know this is something that's dear to your heart. So to end with this last aspect of your life, which is the JLF Foundation. You started the JLF Foundation in what year it was? Again?
It formerly 2017, but it has always existed.
Yep.
But down on paper, it 2017. Yeah.
And so when we look at, you have this foundation that I mean, I could speak to it because I was formerly a member of the board
You're always
before.
JLF.
Yeah. Oh, always JLF. Where the motto is to serve the underserved. Could you just quickly tell everyone a little bit about the JLF Foundation?
So I am so very proud of this foundation, this organization, and it's a nonprofit, and we've been doing great things in the United States. We've been doing health fairs, just promoting health and wellness. We have the JLF Closet that provides clothing and toiletries to the underserved. We actually have an event coming up in June 22nd in collaboration with Haitians American United, where we're going to serve the immigrants that have traversed difficult planes to get over here, and they have very little. So we're going to help treat their trauma also. I have a counselor coming, a very gifted counselor who's going to help them deal with some of them have lost children along the way, have lost their husbands along the way, taking that route. So we're going to have this event for them. But that's what we do in the United States. And in Haiti, like I said, we have the school where we feed the entire school, but we're paying tuition right now for 52 students. So it does my heart proud. A lot of my kids participate in a lot of the activities that we do here. And even my niece, Renee, she's actually my daughter. She's not really my niece.
I love Renee. P.S.
Yes. Very proud of it, and hopefully we can maintain it and keep it going because it's doing so much good.
Yeah, it is.
So,
And when you look at the fact that you serve, not just you serve immigrants, which is something that you can speak to, you serve children in Haiti who are orphans. A lot of them sometimes, or like you said, they might have their parents, but their parents can't afford to send them to school, or they're going to school and they have nothing to eat, or the people who are working in a school, but yet don't have anything to eat. So they're taking their time to teach these students, but are hungry. And these students and staff, they like traverse so many different areas, both environmentally but also politically now, of trying to just learn, right? Trying to just be children, trying to just live, trying to really just set themselves up for that hopeful one day I might be in a position to do something with this, right? Because that's something else that they face there, where people are like, well, why go to school? Some people, I would imagine, because I can't prioritize paying to send you to school because I don't know where we're going to eat. And so you deal with that. But even here in the United States, not just helping immigrants, you help through the JLF Closet and community outreach, the homeless. You provide fairs where there's health screening. There's literally a closet where people can come and shop if they need clothing, shoes. So you're helping every type of person. And really, if we think about without getting into it too much, people who end up being homeless in this day and age in the United States can be anyone, and especially anyone who's gone through a lot of the things that you have gone through. And so does this feel, I know the answer, but full circle for you?
It feels totally full circle. And I am exactly where I am supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think, again, Kim, that God allowed me to go through all that just so that I can do his work. Okay.
Yeah.
And now being able to help some of these people who have been molested also, abused. There are some immigration guards that have sexually assaulted some of these women, so I feel that God is using us, because
Mhm.
JLF is not just me. It's
Yes.
everyone who's put a hand into it. It's your sister, it's Nadine, it's Sasha, it's Misha,
Mhm.
it's Renee, it's Nate, it's everyone's. So, and your sister Stephanie, I love her so
Yes.
much. And so, just it's Kevin's in Haiti. Like he's
Mhm.
in Haiti and he's going through his own stuff, but is willing. Like when we had the earthquake, we did so much by providing growth of food and water and toiletries to people who were homeless down in Haiti. So he's been instrumental in that. We have the director of the school who risks his life, to make sure that the kids are safe. So there's a lot going on there. Now, of course, they haven't been to school for the past month because there's shots being fired every day. And I just
Mhm.
spoke to him like yesterday, and he's like, they were going to try to open. I said, not yet. And Nadine even stepped in and said, no, not yet, because she doesn't want to put anyone at risk.
Yeah.
So we just praise God that we're able to be a vessel and be able to be used in this manner. And especially with, life, just walking through life, you experience so much that it's either you, like I said, delve in it and keep moping in it and saying, woe is me, or you pull yourself up and you say, well, how can I use this? What can I do? How can I be of service to others? How can I help someone else? How can I motivate someone else? How can I mentor someone? It doesn't have to be what I'm doing, but you find your own purpose and you do that to the best that you can and live a life well lived.
Yeah. So, round us out with these a few answers to these last couple questions, and before we get your handles and how people can reach you and find you, whether they're nurses, wannabe nurses, people who want to serve, people who want to help and put a hand into JLF. I want to get all that information from you on this podcast, but let's round out with these last few questions. And you started to speak to it a little bit. How do we serve when we have a lot or a little?
Well, you can only give what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that question is very simple. You just do the best that you can. You give of yourself. It doesn't have to be money. It can be time. It can be just the other day, I went to see a sister friend who has cancer, and you just go and you sit there. You go and wash someone's feet. You go and wash their hair. You go and wash their back. Like there's so much that you can do without even going into your pocket. Just
Mm-hmm.
being there, being a support, just loving someone, that just needs love, hugging someone, and all of that is service, believe it or not,
Yeah.
making someone feel that they exist, seeing someone, so you don't need
Beautiful.
to have much.
I love it. Um, how do we love when we've been hurt?
You asking the wrong, I'm sorry, you asking the wrong person, because I just love love. So I'm gonna love no matter what. But if you hurt me, it won't be you. So it's gonna be somebody else. So I'll just keep loving for the rest of my life.
How do we love when we be hurt? You don't.
You
You
know,
don't. You
no, you
don't.
you continue to hurt me, you will not be loved. Okay, I will have love for you, but you will not be loved.
Well,
Okay,
well,
and I
well.
will be loving someone else.
You
And
heard it here first, folks.
but just
Listen,
know, God told me to love you, so I'm gonna have some love for you. That's all.
we supposed to be rounding out seriously, and she gonna say, "Well, it's the honesty for me. I love it." This is how I just know I can. If I could just a fly on the wall with the two JLs, her and her husband,
I
JL and
love
JL.
him.
Correct.
He's so good.
Y'all are amazing. And shout out to her husband. Listen, she done told you about how amazing he is, but I'll just
It's
also
amazing.
say, just watching you guys, he's such an intelligent man. He's a journalist, right?
Yes, he's a
Yeah,
journalist.
and he writes a lot about the different things going on in Haiti, but just very intellectual, intelligent, very open minded. Which I can see why you two work very well together.
We really compliment each other.
Yeah,
He's an amazing, caring person. Rough around the edges, so we
yeah.
got to calm that down a bit sometimes. But
I'm sure
but
you wouldn't have it any other way.
exactly, calm down.
Oh my gosh, you can't. These women, us women are crazy. Not her all the way on the podcast. I was like, calm down.
Calm down.
Oh my gosh, and showing so much love. I love it. Last two
Yes.
questions. How do we show up when we've been stretched to full capacity?
Listen, at
Yeah.
this point, I think it's age related. Okay. So past 50, you really understand self-care. And being a nurse, the ANA put it right in there. Okay. Kim, you gotta take care of yourself for you to
Yes,
be able to care for anyone else.
it's true.
It's a duty that we owe to ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to provide care for anyone else, we must take care of ourselves. So care for yourself first, and then in the airplane you put on your oxygen mask
That's
first.
right.
Okay, that's what you do. And then you'll be able to show up for other people. And it's not that hard to show up for people. I mean, people make it such a big deal, like a whole big theory and philosophy. No, you just show up. You just
That's
show
oh.
up. That's it. Just do it.
See, that's where we're gonna have to have you back, because that's where you do excel in that area.
Oh,
You're like, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't
but to do
nothing
it,
to it. Just show up. And
just show up.
I love it. I'm not going to minimize what you're saying. Your advice is spot on, but I think that sometimes what I want to say, not I think sometimes I want to highlight how amazing that is that you do that and you continually do that, because I think sometimes for some people I can definitely understand is it doesn't feel so black and white, but it is just a direct thing to do. But the fact that you're doing it doesn't undermine how powerful it is. So I
Now,
just want you to know that. Yeah.
do, and just to say, like, because of my seizures, I don't drive anymore at all.
Yeah.
So if I wouldn't be able to show up as much if I didn't have such a great partner. He
Yes.
makes sure that if I need to be somewhere, he's there. And so he's
Yeah.
able to get me there. Or, there's always Uber, but I prefer my husband to be by my side, of course.
Absolutely.
So, and it's just making the effort. And sometimes people don't make enough effort, but they expect you to continuously pour into them or make the
Yeah.
effort, and they don't. So you really have to watch out for that, Kim, like people who are around you that really are just takers and don't give anything in return. Although you don't do things for people to give anything back in return,
Yes.
but
But
you're not just gonna keep sucking me dry neither.
yeah, it has to be. It doesn't. Reciprocation is not necessarily the same thing back in
Yeah,
return, but it has to be some type of like. Yes, I understand a
absolutely.
wholeheartedly. And then my last question before getting your handles is just thinking back to that quote that I said in the beginning from Joseph Campbell. How do we let go of the life we plan to have? The life that's waiting for us.
You will stop planning. No, I think that's the whole thing. I mean, everyone always expects for these little dots on the I's and the crosses on the T's,
Mm-hmm.
and who's to say what life is waiting for you? Like, do you have like a
Yeah.
crystal ball and know what life is waiting for you? You don't know. You just got to get up every day and you live life one day at a time. You do the best that you can. You put one foot in front of the other. If this route doesn't work, you take another route. You just keep doing it, and you fail better. All of those sayings are true. You just keep getting up and doing the
Yeah.
best that you can every day, and make sure that you take care of yourself, but also make sure that you take care of those around you. Your family is your priority. Don't stretch yourself too far, and you don't really know what life you were meant to have
Mm-hmm.
until you get to a place where you draw so much satisfaction from the life that you do have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're
Yes.
not fully satisfied yet, like, I'm a person that's never really satisfied, so it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
hard for me.
Yep. I
But
understand that. Yep.
and a lot of people have ADHD and don't even know it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like nothing is ever enough. They always got to keep going. Like, the wheels are always turning. You always got to keep moving. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and nothing is ever satisfactory. Nothing is ever enough. But at some point, guess what? Age is going to slow you down a bit. You're
Yep.
going to have time to reflect, and you're going to be able to realize that where you are is where you were always meant to be. And you
Yes.
can only do the best that you can with what you have right now. Just be the best version of the best you, and you'll be
Yes.
okay. Seriously.
I love you so much.
I love you much
That
more.
was so powerful. So, Dr. Joe, where can people find you?
Where can they find me? In the arms of Joel Leon. No.
She is so unserious, y'all.
I am very serious.
She wants you to know Shantae's got a man
Listen.
home. She said, listen, don't try her. You might think
God.
There's 2 steps behind her is her Mr. JL. Okay, watch yourself.
You know, somebody really quickly, someone came to me and said, "Oh, he's changed so much." It like wanted me to know, like, they knew him when he was, back then.
Yeah.
I said, don't we all change?
I know
And
that's
he's
right.
changed for me, and
Listen. She said, don't come and try to tell me about hashtag my man, my man, my man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's changed so much. Yeah, I know. Yes. Yes. Anyway, but you can find me via email at drjohannelewis@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can send us a message on the Dr. Johanne Louis Foundation.org website.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Facebook. We have a Dr. Johanne Louis Foundation Facebook page, or if it's personal, you can message me at my Johanne Louis, Louis, Facebook page. And Instagram is always, there's like JLF Global, there's a Dr. Johanne Louis page. I don't know. But I'm Jojo Louis 221, I believe, on Instagram. I still can't really work that app right. But anyway, so I don't even know.
Not her trying to show her age at the end. She said, I really can't tell y'all.
I can't really. I don't know.
Once they hit above 50, they said, I can't tell you what the IG handle is.
Just send me an email. I will respond. That's all I know.
Listen.
And my phone is like public knowledge. So if you Google me, you'll find my phone number online. Probably find my address.
If you work, wait a second.
I'm serious. I'm like, so, but my daughter was telling me, Mommy, you are all out out there on Google, if people Google, I'm like, whatever.
She said that back to that. Yes, how your body just like, man, I can do with it. I'll be all right. I'm still here.
Be all right. Joel will beat them down if it's something criminal.
Exactly. So. There you go. And you just park a fake Cujo, like a fake dog at the door. They don't know.
I got enough protectors.
Listen, you are so silly. I love you so much. I love
you more.
Thank you for everything.
Oh my goodness.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it because I know I did. And if you did, and if you felt like your life progressed just even a little bit, then a huge opportunity lays before you. That's right. If you know of anyone else that needs this episode, then just by hitting share, you are now participating in that cycle to move things forward for yourself and for others. And that's what we're all about. Remember, as you move in the right direction, that is forward and progressing, never stagnant, you become a resource for others to do the same, but only if we move. If you go and I go, then we all go forward. So let's get moving.